Derek. So just a week ago we were sat here talking about 2 wins. Since then it's been 2 defeats. What do you think's gone wrong?
We played against 2 very good teams, MK Dons and Wimbledon. Both deserved to win the game on the day. MK Dons passed the ball well, rotated well, got the goals. We could have got back in at 2-2 at half time. We didn't. And Wimbledon the other night capitalised on our mistakes, and that's the nature of the game. Against MK Dons we had more attack and impetus than we did on Tuesday night against Wimbledon, but in all, both teams, deserved the points.
Do you think your long injury list is catching up with you now?
Well, it's not helping us, put it that way, because we can't rotate the squad. If you look at the attacking options, we've got 5 players who all play in an attacking area out injured at this moment in time. So that leaves you short. When you've got a small squad, then it's always going to catch up with you in that aspect. But the players are, trying ever so hard. Yes, we're making individual mistakes to give away goals, but in the all, I thought that, after the 2 wins against Nottingham Forest and Barrow, the 2 games, Tuesday and Saturday, we couldn't really have too much complaints.
When are any of those sort of key missing players likely to be back? Is it close?
Yeah, it's getting closer all the time, but obviously Leanne Gall is going to be the longest term. Then we've got Jordan Slew, Paul Lewis, Harvey McAdam, Gwion Edwards, still getting closer, but not close enough just yet.
So with someone like Gwion, are we still talking a couple of weeks? And from Lee, from what you're saying, it's a much longer term thing.
Yeah, we're getting closer to all of them, except Lee. Lee's long term; he's into next year now. But the other ones should be short term.
Does this highlight the budget you were working with in the first place? You had to work remarkably hard to get the numbers in. But when you're hit by so many injuries, was there the money to provide like-for-like quality backup cover when you're losing so many first-team choices?
You could listen. It's all about budgets to a certain extent, and how many players can you take in? The quality of the player you can take in. That happens all over, and doesn't mean that if you have the biggest budget, you're going to do the best. I'm not going to go down that route because I've worked with the smallest budget in the league and got promoted. So, from that point of view, we started recruitment or signing players on the 1st of July. We are in the short term rebuilding our squad off the pitch. We're trying to rebuild it off the pitch as well, with hopefully a takeover that will happen, which might enable us to take in extra players. When that happens, we don't know, but from a on-field point of view, we're just trying to rebuild as best we can.
Are you any wiser about the takeover situation? There's been a comment to the Shrimps Trust in the last couple of days from the owner about the process. Are you any the wiser?
No, I haven't asked for any clarification on that, and I think that it's best that until something happens or is over the line, then it's best to just leave it there.
Yeah, I know you want to leave it there. You've mentioned that before, but a lot of supporters are talking about it. Does that ever impact on the players and yourself? If the supporters are distracted by an ownership issue, wherever that may be, can that trickle along to the playing side of things?
No, I don't think so. We've been dealing with that for many years now and dealt with it really well. I think that, we obviously the budget has decreased from last year, and the funding from Sky has gone up from last year, but we haven't had the benefits of that because of processes, inside the football club that, had to be met. So, from that point of view, from a football point of view, we've gained extra money from selling players over the last couple of seasons. But we are, short. We would all like to take in, more quality. That's always the case, but it costs money.
So when a lot of supporters are saying, like they did on Tuesday night, look, it's not Derek's fault, it's not the players' fault, this is yet again the ownership issue, does that make you feel any better or what?
No, we take responsibility because we go on the pitch and as coaching staff, management staff, we're trying our best. And at this moment in time, we've been very, very close. You look at Notts County, we probably should have won that game. Bradford City, we should have won that game. So in these games, and I'm only talking about two here, we should have won those games. We haven't, and then that catches up with you because when you come up against a team like MK Dons, who are excellent, and go away to Wimbledon, who have a very good home record and do ever so well in the first half, that's the problem. And second half, we lose from an excellent goal from their point of view, and then two mistakes. But the players are trying ever so hard to work. Yes, at this level, we're always going to make errors and get punished.
As you mentioned, the ownership issue's basically been following you in all your time with the club here. Do you ever wish you were in a situation where you had parity with most other managers in League Two in terms of the playing budget, that sort of thing? You weren't always firefighting and having to really push yourself to get 150% out of players? Yeah,
but listen, it's given me a great management career as well, and I haven't had. There's an article going to come out in December that tell you my managerial career that I haven't spent 100,000 in transfer fees. Somebody getting their first job spends that in the first minute, and from my point of view, we would all like to have the biggest budget in the league. We don't. We're coming up against Chesterfield, who'll have one of the biggest. They've got one of the best squads in the league. Paul Cook quite rightly could tell me they have the best squad in the league, and I couldn't disagree with him. And that's the situation that we're going in, week out at this moment in time, and the parameters are so different from what they were.
You must be having one eye on January. A couple of years ago, you famously said we're skint. Is that likely to be the same situation this year?
We are at this moment in time, yes. We don't have anything for January just now. That is up to the board of directors and the owner to go and source some income. From a footballing point of view, we've obviously taken in 45,000 already from the cup games. We don't know if we'll be able to use that 45,000 as yet, so we'll wait and see.
So is that down to basically either the ownership issue being resolved, the board finding a bit more money, or a cup run, as we talked about last week? Otherwise, nothing will change in January.
Yeah, that's correct. And for our turnover to player ratio, we're at the top. We can't take any more players anyway because our turnover is not high enough. So the turnover has to increase before our budget can increase. So anything inside this football club has to gain money. Then we have to find it from somewhere, or sponsorship, or i.e. a cup run. But if you look over the years, the football club and the football side have looked after the football club because, transfer fees has helped everyone in the place, extra staff around the football club, making the first team pitch really good, improving the training pitch. So, from that point of view, the football side of the business has generated, some really good income for it.
So you'd like, if there were any income coming in, to make sure a bit more or some of it was heading towards the football side?
Yeah, I think we've got to get to a situation where, and it depends. It depends on the ownership and what kind of ownership you have, and deciding proportions of the money from a transfer fee, from cup runs, where it goes inside the football club to improve, because there's certain areas of the football club that need improving, and they'll not be able to make the money that the first team can, and so the first team then help refurbishment of the building, refurbishment of the kiosks. It's that kind of money that helps, because other areas can't generate that income to do that.
You've been very honest about the financial situation, but it's a bit bleak, isn't it, for supporters to hear that?
Yeah, but listen, it's a great football club, and we all love it, and the supporters are helping us, do that. They would love us to see us winning more games. We're trying our best. Yes, we haven't been good enough in front of goal at times. We haven't found the right pass. We haven't been able to finish teams off. At the other end, we've made mistakes, and at this level, that happens. And I was saying to the players this morning, as a manager, we can think that we can be a PlayStation manager and put you in positions, but it's like a computer. There's errors in the computer. Something happens, but unfortunately we can't replace that chip with the player that's going to make it. That's just, we have to nurture them, help them, and improve them, and that's what we're here to do. Everyone's going to make mistakes. Myself as a manager, we all make mistakes, but we have to lessen them to become better.
As you alluded to, Chesterfield at the weekend will be a challenge, won't it? Big budget, high scoring team.
Yeah, I mean, you only have to look at their bench. So that's a good parameter on how a squad is, and their bench is full of, excellent players. Their squad, I've already alluded to it. I think they've got one of the best squads in the division. As I said, Paul Cook might tell me he has got the best squad in the division, and he couldn't be. He could be correct, but there is shocks, and we have shocked teams in the past, and we'll have to do that on Saturday.
Is it about perspective, Derek? As I say, a week ago, it was very, very positive after a couple of wins. There's been a couple of defeats. Never too high, never too low is the cliche, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's what we have to be, because we understand the process in place. We understand where the football club is. We understand where we are as a team, as a squad. Can we get some of the injury back to help us? Are they going to help us? We don't know. Anyone that's out the team or injured is a better player than they were when they played in the team. That always happens. But we've got players that certainly can play well against teams, because they've already shown it this season.